Fala galera que curte o meu canal. O sol brilha na Alemanha, mas não se enganem, tá frio pra caramba, tá -1 agora aqui. Eu tô de óculos escuros só pra enganar vocês. E bom, essa semana no Instagram vocês viram aí que eu postei um stories lá, dizendo que eu ia visitar um amigo meu, que é ex-engenheiro-chefe de uma equipe do WC, que é o Mundial de Endurance, né? A galera corre 24 horas de Le Mans e por aí vai. E eu pedi que vocês fizessem perguntas pra ele. Pois bem, recebi pergunta pra caramba, muito obrigado pela participação de vocês. E agora eu tô indo lá pra casa dele, e vamos ver no que dá. Se ficar legal, eu conheço mais pessoas que eu posso entrevistar e vamos ver no que é. Se você ainda não me segue no Instagram, vou colocar o link aqui, não esqueça de me seguir, é de graça, você pode ir lá, você pode fazer pergunta pra mim, participar das enquetes, saber das coisas que eu posto, tenho postado notícia também. Mas enfim, quando eu chegar lá em Regensburg e estiver com ele, eu volto aqui pra vocês. Por enquanto, vocês ficam com a minha vinheta maneira. You know, since some time I have a YouTube channel, and until today I was just making like theoretical videos or teaching people how things are working. And a couple of months ago I made a live event on YouTube, and then people were asking me a lot about Formula 1 races and motorsport. And it's hard to me to say because I have almost no experience in motorsport with basically what we worked together. Yeah. And I just realized that I was coming here today, and then I decided to ask people, to ask my followers to make questions for you. And first of all, thank you a lot that you just took your time to answer it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I think we're going to start, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the first one. The top question, it was about you. They want you to tell about your story, to tell about your life, how you made up to go to motorsport, what you studied, and whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I started motorsport almost 30 years ago in karting. When I was a kid, I was driving karting myself, and then I became a data engineer for a race team. Everything was before my studies, so everything was like practicing motorsports. And during university, I became a data engineer then in Formula Abarth, Formula Renault, and kind of beginner levels in Formula racing. After university, I became system engineer and performance engineer in LMP1 during the WEC season 2014-15 for Lotus and then by Colles. Then I became the chief designer there, where I developed the LMP1 car again. After 2 years, I became self-employed with a couple of projects, like the Apollo project, which is a hypercar project, and RoboRace, which is an autonomous driving car. And as well with another LMP1. And after 2 years I became performance engineer at BMW in DTM. At BMW still I am. And yeah, I was studying mechanical engineering, not specific for motorsports, not specific for vehicle.
Did you make a master degree too?
Yes, I made a master's degree, both at the same university. So yeah, you know the university.
Yeah, we studied there together.
Yes,
not together, but in different times.
Exactly. Yeah, that's basically my history.
The second question is, how do we met each other?
Yeah, during my self-employed period, I was looking for some skilled engineers for simulating and designing suspensions, layout, kinematics, and vehicle dynamics. So I asked Professor Liebl at the university if there is some skilled guy, and yeah, he suggested me to take you on board, and so I did. So you designed the suspension for an LMP1 for my company, and also we did some simulations together. not only for the LMP1 but also for the Apollo.
Yeah, I think I told you my side of the story, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it was also cool because I think 2 days before you get to Professor Liebl, I was having dinner with him or having lunch, I don't remember. And I just told him, yeah, I'm looking for a job, but not every job. I want to do really something with motorsport. This is the reason why I came to Germany.
Yes.
And then after 2 days, he came to me and said, hey, Raphael, I have a contract for you to work with my LMP1. I said, what? I don't believe it.
Yes.
It's crazy coincidence.
Yes, not only coincidence, but you can also tell that's some kind of destiny, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the third one is, which the best market to work with motorsport? Is it Germany? Is it Europe in general? Asia? What do you think?
Well, I need to admit I only worked in Europe so far. To me, I think the most jobs you will get in the UK, so in England, but also in Germany. There's a couple of jobs available. Italy, Spain is more like for a motorcycle, but if you want to go racing, no matter what, if it's GT, if it's Formula racing, the UK is like a hotspot there.
Mm-hmm. It's where the Formula 1 board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the next question is basically, what's the difference between a race engineer and a shift engineer or shift designer?
Yeah, the race engineer is only concentrated on his car, so he needs to make sure that his car is in the optimum condition. He needs to assure that the car goes out of the pits in the second where it is planned, and he needs to assure that the performance is on the best level that you can achieve. The chief engineer is more concentrated on the entire picture, so he's not specific for strategy, he's not specific for operations, he's not specific for the performance. He needs to get the global picture of what's going on at the track, in the factory, so that he can make decisions based on what he knows and what he sees.
Mm-hmm. Do you recommend any book? I have a favorite one.
Yeah, I have three actually. So one is here, the analysis techniques for race car data acquisition. This is something, if you want to become a race engineer, you should know that book, because it tells you how to look at data, how to create KPIs, how to create analysis. And then for design, there's two books. So it's the race car aerodynamics. Tells you mainly aerodynamics, so how to shape a car. And the other one is race car vehicle dynamics. It tells you pretty much everything what you need to design a proper race car.
Because at least it's my opinion, I think it's always good to have good books, and it helps a lot.
Yes.
But nothing like experience, not like having your ass in that whole shit and trying to do things by yourself.
As I said before, I'm now working not working, but I'm involved in motorsports for almost 30 years, and I still have the impression that I'm at the beginner level. You'll never stop learning.
There's always a problem they'll never see before.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the best CAD software to learn?
CATIA. CATIA is the way to go. I've never seen anything else. One company that I knew in the past was using Siemens NX, but this is for me not the way to go. For me is CATIA.
Okay, do you think there's a good chance for a foreigner to get some job at motorsports?
Well, the nationality for me doesn't matter. What's important is that you speak fluent English, so that you can understand each other. But in the department where I'm working, I think I'm one of two Germans, and the rest is from all over the world, from all over the planet. Doesn't matter where you are from. Yeah, it is important. It is very important that you speak proper English, fluent, and where you're from actually doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as I told you before, it's funny because people ask me a lot, hey, I don't know German, and most of the Brazilian population cannot speak German, and they say, is it possible to work only speaking English? And I must be honest, I say, If you work for series development in a German company, every single document you find is in German. People are speaking German with you. They can speak English. They speak English with another people from China that not works for your company. But in your day, it's pretty hard to find. And in motorsports, it's like the default. You must speak English.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you come. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, even in our company at BMW, is motorsport is everywhere English, and as soon as you only touch serious cars, then the documentation is all in German. Yes.
How long do you think it will take until the electrical cars are really in the market, really in a competition with the combustion ones?
Well, to me, being honest, electrical is not the way to go. It is pushed a bit by politics, but it is not. It's not the correct way to go for me, from an engineering point of view. You are abusing some spots in the world to get the resources. But if you consider everything from generating the energy, building the battery, storing the energy in the battery, and then use the energy from the battery to drive a car, I don't think it's as efficient as a combustion engine. Whereas I also need to say a combustion engine, as we have so far, could also be more pushed, like with synthetic fuels that are more environmental friendly. I would say electrical engines is not a replacement for combustion. It's just a mid-term solution, and should not be the ultimate long-term solution, especially not as we know it now with battery that will be loaded externally. To me, it would be more hydrogen, so fuel cell, which is for me some kind of long-term solution. It has to be environmental friendly, and I think hydrogen in the end is the way to go. Speaking from a pure motorsport perspective, I would say electrical engine is not at all the way to go, because you have to consider that the emotion from motorsports comes also from the noise. You go there, you have the feeling. If you go to Formula 1 race, you not only hear the cars, you feel the cars. You know, your body is vibrating when the car is approaching, and this you miss completely with an electrical engine. And therefore, I would say I'm more a fan of combustion engine, but I'm also a fan of creating an environmental friendly environment, surroundings. So to me, there's still a lot to do, and as the electrical engine as we know them now is not the ultimate solution. So
I don't have any questions more for you. I would like to give you some time to give some advices for these people. Most of them are students of mechanical engineer, electrical engineer in general, and they are willing to start with motorsport sometime in their career.
Yeah.
So if you can give them some advice.
Yeah. So what I can tell you is, if you love what you do, and if you're passionate enough, then you will make your way in whatever condition. At some point there will be an opportunity to do something in motorsports. So keep believing, keep the faith, and at some point there will be the chance to do something. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah, it was exactly what happened to me. I remember that when I started here to work with you, it was the period of my life that I worked more in terms of hours. We were starting like 8 o'clock in the morning, working until 9 o'clock in the evening, and we was really just happy. It was working, and then you don't notice that the time is passing by.
Yeah.
So you just get in a tunnel, you do what you want to do, you're still excited with that, And when you look at the clock, oh man, I need to go home because there is no buses anymore. I need to walk 20 kilometers until my home.
Yeah. Yeah. If you love what you do, and if you do it with passion, then it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
You know, and in motorsports, you need to work a lot. That's pretty sure. It was also for me a good time with you, having you here. It's a bit of a pity that we're not continuing at the moment, but let's see what future brings.
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot for your time.
You're welcome.
And see you next week, guys. Bye.
Ciao.